Good afternoon and welcome to Real Issues on TNTV. Today we'll be talking about issues that has to do with Rivers at 50. If you live in Rivers State or you're from Rivers State, I'm sure you're happy about what is happening in Rivers State. We are celebrating 50 years this month. So Rivers State has been there in existence for so long. And today we'll be looking at so many issues about Rivers, how far we've gone, and what is the next step we should take to make our state a better state. To discuss this with me, I have in the studio Evangelist Atisi Frank. Atisi Frank is an evangelist and is also a leadership training consultant. It's nice to have you here in the studio, Mr. Atisi Frank.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, like I said, we'll be talking about the program is Real Issues, and we're discussing Rivers at 50, the journey so far. Rivers State being created 50 years ago. We've passed through so many things, we've achieved a lot, and we've not done well in some part as well. As a Rivers man that lives in Rivers State, what do you think? How do you feel about this celebration?
Yeah, first of all, we want to thank God for Rivers State at 50. It's been a journey of God's grace and God's faithfulness. Yeah. As a matter of fact, who are we without God? Just like the psalmist will say, except the Lord build a city, the builders will labor but in vain. So as a Rivers young man, I thank God for his love upon our state. But frankly speaking, Rivers at 50 leaves us with a sentimental feeling, in the sense that amidst so much, we are battling with little. Amidst the abundance of human resources, we are battling with a political few with a shallow sense of reasoning. So Rivers State at 50 gives a mixed feeling of thanking God and a challenge why we are where we are at the moment. Okay,
if we should look back at where we're coming from, would you say we've achieved a lot so far in this journey?
Rivers State have not achieved so much. Rivers State have achieved something in the sense that, on a personal note, Rivers sons and daughters are breaking out grounds. Rivers sons and daughters are doing very well in the affairs of influence. But economically and politically, there is so much left to be desired as a state since our creation. Okay,
like you mentioned, you talked about politics and the economy. I would like us to look into all these things one after the other. I would like us to look at the economy of Rivers State, our political system, the healthcare, education, and the rest of those things. Yes. So we're going to take them one after the other. Okay. And we're going to start with politics. Yes. During elections, we all live in Rivers State. We all see what happens during election in Rivers State. Our election here in Rivers State is always very, very violent compared to other parts of this country. Yeah. Why is it always like that in Rivers State? Now, you see, after the last, I'll call it triple rerun, yeah, which was quite a shame, that it's something that whenever I'm on a public face, I don't like talking about it. Well, we should have a rerun, a rerun, and a re. You can see that it's funny to say, but let's come to think of it. I have always questioned the integrity of the political elites. That political power is a means to set politics that is primarily the avenue to render service to the people, is now an avenue to enrich the pocket of the few. And that is the cancer in Rivers State. And that's why whenever there is election, be it state election, even presidential election in Rivers State, you see that the political gladiators will send their tigers, their dogs and their cows out on the street. Why? To them, is an opportunity to exert power, to have foreign exchange. So that has been the sorry state of Rivers State. But I am a believer of this notion, of this philosophy, that soon, not far from today, the narration will change. Okay, before we come back to look into all these things that I mentioned so far, healthcare, infrastructure, and the rest of them, what do you think we are celebrating? Are we celebrating the fact that River State is still in existence today since its creation, or are we celebrating our achievement?
Now, to be very, very practical, somebody asked me this question that is 50 years worth celebrating? And I said, yes, it's worth celebrating. There are some states that are in crisis.
Yes.
So we can move around freely. We can move around during the morning hours, noon, and night. So we are celebrating God's faithfulness. We are celebrating the fact that River State is still together, regardless of the height of electoral violence we had in River State. That we are still together is something worth celebrating. We are celebrating the fact that since the return of democracy in 1999, we've had one democratic leadership. Transferring power to another administration is worth celebrating. But talking about celebrating achievement is something we should not do with our head high. It's a celebration we should not do with our shoulder high. It's something we should do with so much soul searching, with sincerity. I missed so much human resources, mineral resources, natural resources. Are we harnessing what we're supposed to harness? So I won't call it 100% celebration. I will call it 50% celebration and 50% reflection. Yes,
that's what you should call it.
Yes.
Is that what's happening now?
What we are having now is total celebration.
Okay.
And I watch it. I follow it with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Yes.
You live in River State. You're from River State.
I'm from River State.
And the celebration is ongoing.
Ongoing.
Have you been involved in any of this?
I have not been involved. Deliberately, I decided to stay away.
Why? It's
to
not
think
worth it.
about River State is worth it.
Yes.
But to think about River State, to pray for River State, and to see how I can position myself into challenging young people to have what I call value reorientation on how to move River State towards her garden of greatness. So I feel I should not be among those shouting on the street, playing around. As young people, we should sit down to think. Where are we coming from? Where are we now? And where are we heading to? And until you ask yourself certain questions, you cannot get certain answers.
Okay. From what you're saying, it's like you've seen the program of events and you know what is contained in the program of events.
Yes.
And it's not something you should be part of. That's why you decided to stay away.
Not really. It's not something I should be part of. I am part of it in spirit.
I mean the celebration.
I'm part of the celebration in spirit.
Okay.
But I feel that we should emphasize less celebration, more reflection.
Okay. We're done with politics and the many insecurities that come with politics. Now let's go into healthcare. We've not achieved anything in this regard.
You see, this is what is troubling. That's why I say River State is blessed.
Yes.
That I say is worth celebrating because we are blessed.
Okay.
We are rich. Rich in abundance of human resources and natural resources. But look at our primary health care. Look at our tertiary health care. It is disturbing. And I think this is where the political elite, and I call them the political gladiators, those in public service,
Yes.
those voted into power, who made countless promises. Let me at this point use this medium to speak to Rivers people hearing the sound of my voice. It is high time we are not carried away by the promises, by the campaign promises of politicians. It is high time we get articulate, ask questions, make realistic demands. By so doing, we will enjoy dividends of democracy. As a matter of fact, because of how shallow our politics is, we celebrate what we should not celebrate. That in the 21st century, people still celebrate road construction. In the 21st century, people still celebrate healthcare delivery. It is a necessity.
I don't think that is peculiar to Rivers people. It's nationwide.
I am speaking as a Rivers man.
Okay.
And if there are people in Benue, people in Kogi, they should be challenged as I am challenged. why we must change the narration. See, the Constitution
Yes.
provides certain basic amenities. It is a constitutional matter. It is not at the luxury of the executive governor or a local government chairman. It is a necessity. And if they fail to do some of these things, we voted them in, we can vote them out. So I think that healthcare is a necessity. It is not something we should play around. Rivers people should have the liberty to walk into any hospital, any clinic, and be attended to. It is their right. Therefore, those clinics, those hospitals must be equipped. Not it should be. It must be equipped with drugs, with doctors. So, the nurses should be taken care of.
Okay.
The doctors should be taken care of.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, most time when we talk about the issue of development of our state, we always push it to the governors, the people in government. Of course, that's their responsibility. It is their work to do that. But then we forget that this state, people who moved the motion for the creation of this state, people who agitated for the creation of this state, we are all young people.
Yes.
What are the youth doing today to make sure they contribute their own part to the development of the state?
Now, I don't know if you feel comfortable with it on this platform. I am an advocate of the amendment of the Constitution. The 99 Constitution does not favor young people. Because, see, until you become part of a policy-making organ,
yes,
you cannot influence policies and projects. The Constitution allows it for old people. And no wonder, is it while we return to democracy, is it in the Third or in the Fourth Republic, this young man who forged his age declaration so he could be Speaker, House of Honorable Buhari? They had to forge because he wanted to be there. The Constitution does not allow young people into this thing. So what they do, they now use young people as their political touts to do their campaign, to execute their opposition. They make them essay on this, essay on that. But as a matter of fact, young people, we should sit down. We are part of the whole ball game. Now, when they begin to make certain policies, we should engage them. I am an advocate of engaging policymakers.
As an advocate?
Yes, we should engage.
Okay.
Yes.
What have you done in your own side to make sure that these things are put in place?
Glory, glory. I've done so much. I am a practitioner of community service. I am a young leadership developer.
Okay.
Challenging young people that they should be service providers. Add value from your church, from the universities, from the polytechnics, from your communities. Add value. Get young people together. Let's talk to ourselves. Let's be part of a system. I am an unrepentant and a passionate advocate for the amendment of the 99 Constitution, where young people could be allowed to vie for the highest office in the land. Before us is France, a 39-year-old young man. He has never held political office before, a political novice. But now, this is where we now come in. We say to young people, develop yourself. Develop your talents, get education, be exposed. Emmanuel Macron is a banker and an investor who resigned from cabinet office to form his own political party, and he passionately sold his agenda to the French people, to the French people, and they bought it. And today he is the youngest person to lead the French Republic after Napoleon. So you could see a young man who developed his own capacity. So what we are doing as part of our service to Rivers State is what we are doing now. We go from state to state, church to church, local government to local government, community to community, saying to young people, it is high time for value reorientation. It is high time for mental repositioning. It is time for capacity building. And we also say to young people, join political parties. Aim to run for offices. Whether you have money or not, develop yourself. Know what it means to write your manifesto, build your manifesto, and sell your programs and your policies to the people. Stop being slaves. Nobody should be a second-class citizen in Rivers State. We all are stakeholders here.
All right, we're going to come back to that. But right now, let's look at infrastructure.
Okay.
Let's look at River State with its 23 local government areas.
Yes.
Right now, a lot of developmental activities are going on in River State.
Okay.
Let me just put it that way, in River State.
Okay.
But it's concentrated in Port Harcourt and Obiapo, forgetting that we have other local government areas.
Yes.
They are in, this is 21st century.
Yes.
River State is 50 this month. But there are parts of River State where I don't think in their whole life they've seen power supply in their life.
You can say that.
There are some parts of River State where they've not seen vehicles come into their communities and all those kind of things. No potable waters and the rest of all those things. How are we going to come out of these things?
Now, you see, let me start by saying, before people will misunderstand me that I am anti-government, I am anti-Wike, you know, people have said a lot of things. One thing I must commend this governor is that most of the projects started by his predecessors, particularly the roads. He decided to ensure that they are completed. We must. One disease in our political space is a lack of continuity. People just come, they will abandon the project of others and to just carry on their own project, and all over the country we keep having abandoned projects, abandoned initiatives. At the end of the day, they gather their millions and their billions and they are off. It is still the common man on the street that will suffer. You see, that's why I keep telling Rivers people, enough of the praise singing of political gladiators. It is high time we hold them to account. So I must commend him for that. And one thing I am not comfortable about is the decay. Even in Port Harcourt. The other day I was driving past Aba Road and I saw a project which I can confidently, I stand to be corrected by you or our viewers. Ome has started that project, the shopping mall by Jerry. And Amechi left it untouched. Wike has also left it. And that is a project by our main road. It should be completed. I don't know the demon holding it. That demon should be set on fire. That project should be completed. Look at monorail. In as much as we question monorail, that it was a bogus and stupid project. Monorail alone can open most cities. And the governor decided not to touch it. It is abandoned there. Look at Port Harcourt. It is high time we open up Port Harcourt, open other cities. I had to go to some hinterlands for programs and ask, can other industries come to these areas? Because the point is this, if some ministries of government, some institutions, some offices are taken to some of these rural areas, definitely it will drive in mobility, it will take in accommodation, because the truth of the matter is, to some persons, they enjoy to live where they work. I don't know that you are getting me. Yeah. So if we take their offices there, definitely that place will open up. There will be development. Road will come in, power will come in, shopping malls will come in, telecommunication will come in, and we will decongest Port Harcourt. And the state will be, Port Harcourt is a one city state, and it is dangerous for the future. Just as Nigeria is a mono economy. And that is why we are still graded in the third world countries. It is disheartening. We have what it takes to reposition Nigeria and Rivers State in particular. See, I believe our politicians know what to do. Let them be sincere to themselves. Let them do what they know is right. They travel around the world. They go to even small cities, counties around the world, where you see institutions of government, state infrastructures are made to work. So what they go there to see, they should replicate it here without sowing the seed of discord and generational violence.
Okay, talking about development of rural areas, one of the impediments to the development of some parts of River State is insecurity. And most of these rural areas, especially the riverine areas, there are so much insecurity there. And all of these insecurities are done by our youth. And the people in charge of these youth are the, let me say, the traditional rulers. Do you think government alone can do this thing?
Government alone cannot. As a matter of fact, we are government. The 99 Constitution started it, we, the people. In as much as I don't like that Constitution because it is not we, the people. That Constitution is a product of a few military cabal who say we, the people. But the point is this, government is the people. So when we talk about government, we're not talking about the governor and his elites in government in Brick House. We are the government. Unfortunately, the machinery of government strives on divide and rule. When the traditional elite, the traditional class, they are divided, what will you get? When our traditional rulers are not independent, there is no philosophy, they cannot provide leadership to their people. What do you get? And I think it is a high level of stupidity on the side of our youths to destroy your future by carrying guns. You give in to violence. You take peanuts to kill. You destroy the environment. And you expect that tomorrow will be better. It is a disaster. As a matter of fact, we want to speak to our young people. Violence destroys your fourth generation. Violence will open the door for crisis and underdevelopment. It does not pay.
Okay, I would like us to go on a very short break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll be talking about rivers. Let's look at the old river state and the new river state.
Okay.
Before the creation of Bayelsa state, we'll look at that part of rivers as well. So our viewers.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We're about to discuss river state during its creation, and we'll look at old river states, the present day Bayelsa state and river state together. During that time, we had some, should I say, good leaders, because most of the things they put in place are still standing till today. As a matter of fact, they are the strongest structures we still have in Port Harcourt till date. Would you say the creation of Bayelsa state has any effect on river state?
No, it's not really the creation of states. It's the decline.
I'm saying this because those people that did those things for us are in Bayelsa state today.
They are still in river state. This celebration, the first governor of River State, though a military governor, yes. Now King Alfred Destis.
He's a Bayelsan.
No, but you still see him around. My argument is this: it's not the creation of states. Okay. It's the decay of selfless leaders. It is not really the creation of states. America has 50 states in the United States of America. 50 states. We have I guess we have 36 and the federal capital territory. So it's not about the states. It's about selflessness in leadership. It's about service above self. It's about people, policies and projects before person. But what do we get? We glorify ego. We glorify person. There is hero worship. And at the end of the day, even when projects are done for the people, it's about the politicians. They come around, we sing their praise. Our women will tie wrapper. The youth will do all manner of things. And you see projects that can't last for up to 2 or 3 years. So it's not about the creation of states. It's about selflessness and leadership.
Okay. Before we round up this program, I would like us to look into, I'm sure you believe that Rivers State will be greater than the way it is right now.
My goodness. That is why we are passionate about the state. I believe so much in my state.
So how do we get there?
Huh?
How do we get there?
Look, we'll get there. It's simple. First of all, we will get there.
Yes.
We will get there.
We all believe that.
In getting there, there ought to be a clear pathway. Let us be sincere to ourselves. Rivers people, let us tell ourselves the truth. Our election cycle should not be breaking news on the negative side for the nation and for Africa.
Right.
We should be selfless. We should think of what we will give to River State instead of what we will take out of River State. The human resources in the state should be developed. The young people, it's high time we sit down develop our capacity, develop our state, hold elected public officers to account. With this, I tell you the truth, Rivers State have all the signs of greatness. In short, I see greatness in Rivers State.
Right. You seem to have a lot to tell the youths of Rivers State.
Yes.
What's your last word to them concerning the development of Rivers State?
Let us change our mentality.
That's it.
Yes, change our mentality. Politics should not be to enrich your pocket. Have something doing. Politics without occupation is disaster. Have something doing. Don't enter into politics to be famous, or don't play politics to be famous or to be rich.
All right, thank you very much. We've come to the end of this program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, our viewers. You've heard, if you're in Rivers State, if you're a Rivers youth, you've heard my guest. He has said a lot about the development of Rivers State and how the youth can come in and help develop Rivers State. First of all, develop yourself. Don't see politics as an occupation for you to enrich yourself. Go into politics with the mindset of developing yourself and developing your people. Thank you, and don't forget to join us every Friday on this program, Real Issues. Till we come your way next time. Have a good day.